my family, go ahead and get your notepad, your pen, your iPad, whatever you want to use to take notes. Fast forward, rewind, get everything you can out of this video. It's going to be a little bit longer. I have a lot of details, okay? This is a return guest. I've done her color now 2 to 3 times. I think this might be our 3rd color session, but she goes usually months between visits. I'll see her sometimes for maintenance, maybe every 2 to 3 months. But in terms of her getting her color redone, she usually goes 6 to 8 months at a time, okay? And that's due to the wonderful benefit of a lived-in color look is you don't have to worry about maintenance, okay? There's no line of demarcation. It's always a smooth grow out, okay? So I take very large sections, usually a diagonal back. This is a little untraditional. I did decide to go from her hairline back to the nape with some of these sectionings. The reason why I did that is because I want a very strong diffusion and a strong buildup of dimension throughout the entire color process, okay? So I'm taking weaves, slices, doing some freehand painting, saturating these sections. And the reason why I went a little bit unconventional with this technique is I want to make sure I have the saturation I need at the base, but there's still diffusion. So I'm back combing each section. I'm just having fun, all right? This is a lived-in color look. I'm making sure that I'm not using foil only because I don't want her to over process. Her ends have been processed twice already. And while I do want to brighten them another level or so, I don't want to cause an over process. So low and slow, I'm using lightener and 7 volume. All right, and I'm using my favorite lightener, Blonde Me. I'm not a brand endorser. I don't work for them, but it is my favorite brand of lightener. It just does the job every time. I love the way it paints. I love its consistency and the way it processes, okay? So Blonde Me and 7 volume for the win. When you're working with textured hair, it's very important to consider the texture, consider the curl pattern. Even if they are straight natural, you want to maintain the integrity of the hair, okay? So I'm very particular when I'm choosing products to work with and in choosing my formulation. Low and slow wins the race every time. It is a myth that a higher level of developer is going to get you brighter than the lower level. They will all get you to the same place, okay? It's just about how much fuel and how much fire you want in the tank when you're on your way to that destination, okay? So a higher volume does not mean higher lift. That is a myth. It just means one's going to get there faster, but faster does not always mean better. If I'm getting there faster, 9 times out of 10, I damage something along the way, okay? So this is lightener and 7 volume. All right, pay very close attention to my sectioning. Again, I said I'm alternating between slices and weaves. I work my way up the entire side of the head on both sides and I continue to the back, okay? I did speed this up a little bit because it's a very long process. It took me about, I want to say 45 minutes to an hour to paint her entire hair in the salon. All right, this is not a cheap process as well. So if you're booking an appointment with myself or another stylist, please recognize that you are paying your stylist for their expertise and most importantly, their time. All right, this is a very time consuming technique. These bright blonde looks that are very popular, these very dimensional colors, they take time, they take precision, and they're very particular, okay? So I'm taking into consideration all of her hair health, her hair history while I'm painting. If you notice on some of the areas where I notice there's light, is a little bit lighter going up towards the root, I will step down on some of my saturation on certain sections. Just depends on what I'm doing and what section of hair I'm working with, okay? But I'm gonna continue this pattern all the way up the head till I get to the top. It's very important that your sections are clean, that your painting is evenly saturated. Always check the underside of your sections. Make sure that you don't have anything bleeding. If you are working with finer hair or your lightener is not the right consistency, you may want to use something to help separate the sections, whether it be saran wrap or plastic, or you can use mesh strips. I would avoid using foil, especially on hair textures like hers, only because it's going to accelerate the process and I don't want to go too far. Time is your friend, so sometimes working with a lower volume, leaving it to work open air will work towards your benefit and get you the same result. Again, less is usually more when you're working with texture, okay? Saturate your sections, always check the underneath, don't leave anything to chance, and just work your way up the head. If you want more details on my formulation and painting process, guys, I have the biggest hands-on class I've ever done ever done coming up in just 2 weeks here in Chicago. It's 2 days. Myself and my co-worker, who is a bomb educator and short hair specialist, Tom, is gonna come in and help me out. We're gonna do the first day, all things hair cutting, silk press, and then the second day is gonna be a color theory intensive. So you will learn this technique as well as some of my formulation, all that good stuff in that 2-day hands-on. So sign up. The link is in my Instagram bio, and I will attach it down in the description box as well. But sign up, guys. It's something you don't want to miss. I will leave nothing on the table. And did I say it's hands-on? Yes, I did. It is hands-on, guys. You don't want to miss it. You have a chance to look, touch, and do the technique yourself and master it. I promise you I'll be there coaching you one-on-one. It's gonna be amazing, but sign up today, okay? Anyway, I'm bringing you guys back to the shampoo bowl. I've slowed this process completely down because in every video I post in the comment section, I get people say, we wanna see the wash. What does it look like at the bowl? And I stress so much that process at the shampoo bowl. So I'm gonna slow this video down. I know this is a very relaxing part for a lot of people, ASMR, whatever the word is. So I promise I'm gonna be quiet, but I do want to point out during your shampoo process, whether it's a color service, a silk press, let the water do the brunt work. Take your time saturating that hair, especially if you're dealing with low porosity hair. For as long as it took the lightener to work, that's just as long as it's gonna take for it to get out. All right, so take your time, let the water start the neutralization process, rinse all the lightener out, okay? Before you start toning, very important, because if you put toner on top of the hair while lightener is still present, it's going to affect your toner and you're not gonna get the desired result, all right? So take your time, rinse, rinse, rinse. The water is your friend. It's gonna detangle, it's gonna remove buildup. Let the water do the work, all right? It's nature's shampoo, okay? Let it work. All right, I'm gonna shut up. I promise. I'll be back in a few minutes. Enjoy this process. back. All right, I did repeat the shampoo process again, but I deleted that footage so you guys wouldn't be bored while I went through all of that. Okay, but my shampoo process actually started to detangle her hair for me, so I'm not working against her texture, and now I'm just applying her toner. Okay, saturate the hair. Usually I'll go and apply my toner everywhere, just get it on. I'm going to start to work it back through with my detangling process. My toner of choice today is by Matrix, and it is an alkaline based toner. That means it has a higher pH, and it does have the ability to shift her natural base up to one level. Okay, and that's very important for me. I don't want to create too much maintenance, but I do want to soften the line between the lightened hair and her regrowth. All right, so it just softens her natural base up just a little bit, and it's going to also tone at the same time. Okay, be very mindful when you're choosing toners. There are different types, different brands do different things. I have a couple of them in the salon. It depends on the application, and that's going to determine what I choose. Okay, so I'm working my toner through. As you can see, her hair is super easy to detangle. The shampoo process helped a lot with that. Make sure you go through, make sure the toner gets everywhere. Okay, I want it to hit every single strand, because the worst thing that happens, especially on dense hair, is you got this beautiful tone up front and you start blow drying, you see the back and it's orange. Okay, that's not our goal. We do want to keep her warm. We do want to keep her bright, but I don't want to see any unwanted golden or orange tones. All right, and because we're not lifting to a pale yellow blonde, there's a lot more warmth that's left behind, and I want to make sure my toner gets a chance to do its job. Okay, so thoroughly detangle the hair. I'll leave a link to the detangling brush I'm using in the description box as well. It's my favorite detangling tool. I have a couple of them, but this one is my favorite. It peels through pretty much every texture you can throw at it. Little shedding, minimal shedding, no snagging. Most of the time my clients usually fall asleep, or they're looking back at me like, what in the world are you using on my hair, because it doesn't do this for me at home. All right, so take your time, make sure the toner gets everywhere, the base all the way down to the ends. Another thing that's very important when you're doing toning, let it process. I see so many people that get scared during the detangling process, or the toning process, I'm sorry, and they'll rinse it like after 5 minutes. No way has it had a real opportunity to do its job. If the manufacturer says 20 minutes, let that joker process for 20 minutes, okay? Very important if you're trying to mute those unwanted warm tones. And because we only lifted her to like a level 7, 8, I really want to make sure that toner gets a chance to do its job and mute those undertones and make them work for the overall palette, okay? Saturate. If you need to mix more, mix more. Keep in mind, texture hair has all kind of twists and turns and what we call micro texture. Each strand has its own texture, so it's very important that you saturate. Take your time when you're detangling and make sure that that product is hitting every single hair strand, because you'll get back to the chair and you'll find areas of brass where the toner just kind of slipped it, where the curl was turned in such a way where the toner just didn't get a chance to saturate. All right, so take your time, work that all the way through the hair, and then give it a chance to process. Don't get nervous. It's easy when you see toners, when you walk away, it's turned this weird olive color or it looks too dark. Don't be alarmed. Let it do its thing. I promise you it's going to pay off in the long run. All right. Now that I've gotten that product worked all the way through, I'm going to let her toner sit for 20 minutes. Open air, does not need a cap. I'm just going to let it do its thing. When I come back to check on it, it should be perfect. Okay. If you're unsure, or you're working with higher levels of blonde and you want tone, but you don't want to overtone it, just check it every 5 to 10 minutes just to make sure it's not doing what you don't want it to do. But I'm pretty confident with my formulation, and after 20 minutes has passed, it's perfect. Okay, rinse it out. And I know some might say, oh my God, Trav, the blonde is gone. Trust me, it's not gone. It's just muted. When the dryer hits it, you're going to see the desired result. All right, be patient. Trust the process. That should be a t-shirt. Trust the process. Okay, stop panicking, stop rushing, don't get scared. Trust the process. When you're dealing with calibrated color, it's not going to do anything you don't want it to do, as long as you're sure of your formulation. All right, once you apply it, let it do its work. Sit, process, rinse, move on. After I've let her toner process, it's very important that you deep condition. I want to make sure I put back all the nutrients, all the moisture, all the strength, anything that could have been lost during the coloring process. We want to make sure we put it back. All right. In the salon, I do use a steam machine or a nano steamer. I think it's the proper term for it. If I can find the link for it, I will definitely put it in the description box, so people always ask me what steamer do I use. I did check back a short while ago, and I noticed that it was no longer available. I did get it from Amazon, and I can't find it anywhere. But if I can dig it up by the time I post this video, I will definitely put the link in the description box. It is a nano steamer. The difference is it works whether the steam is hot or cold. The molecules are so small that they literally slip right past the cuticle, go into the hair shaft, and help hydrate it and carry the conditioner and the nutrients with it. Okay, so I detangle during this process again, and then I let it sit in the steam for about 10 minutes. Now with steam, I've seen people doing them for 20-30 minutes. It's unnecessary. The hair can only soak up with so much moisture. After about 7 to 10 minutes, the steamer has done its job. All right, so don't torture your client. Let it do its job, then rinse it so you can move on with the service. All right. Now, once the steamer has had a chance to do its magic, I'm going to rinse out that deep conditioner very thoroughly. This is actually a step that often goes wrong, as simple as it is. People just don't spend enough time rinsing. Rinse all that conditioner out, because if not, when you go to blow dry, you can get smoke. The hair is going to be weighted down. It's just not going to be cute. All right, we don't want a greasy silk press. We want it to be silky, but not greasy. Okay, so rinse all that deep conditioner out. Get the bag, get the sides. Again, let the water do the work. There's no sense in leaving conditioner behind. None whatsoever. It's a rinse out conditioner. All right, take your time, rinse it out. It's going to ensure a very thorough blowout. Okay. This brown is giving what it's supposed to give. I can't wait till you see it blown out, because the color shifts at every stage of the process. All right, this is why I say don't be afraid of that toner. The color is going to shift. By the time you get to the bowl, you'll see it get lighter. By the time you blow dry, it's going to start to shift. Flat iron. So take all that into consideration when you're formulating. Sometimes I will tone more than what I need to, because I know by the time I apply heat, it's going to lift some of that off. Okay. I did take a minute to record this part. I was going to cut it out, but I thought it was important to see. Y'all, ain't nothing like a clean salon. Clean the bowl, clean your tools, wipe everything down. And I wasn't even intending to catch this. This is just my habit, okay? Clean up behind yourself. Ain't nothing like a nasty salon. I will walk out. I'm serious. I don't care what I'm going to get done, what I got to do. If I walk in the salon and that shampoo bowl is nasty, I don't want to lay back in it, and your guests don't either. Clean up behind yourself. I know I sound like the old parent, but I'm serious, y'all. Forget COVID-19. It's just basic sanitation. All right, back to the chair. All right, a question I often get asked: Trav, is color going to loosen my curls or make me lose my curl pattern? The answer is yes and no. Okay, color is going to affect the porosity and elasticity of the hair. So you will notice sometimes, especially with repeat color or high lift guests that are either blonde or high lift reds and browns, you will notice an elasticity change, and the curls temporarily look elongated when the hair is in a wet state. It's nothing to panic about. It can be addressed over time, but it is a factor that comes into play with repeated color clients. Okay. And as long as they're informed, like we go through all of this in regimen building, product uses, all that good stuff during the consultation. Again, she's been back to me multiple times. She knows her curls, they always spring back, okay? And usually the hair will look one way immediately after the service. If I left her hair out to air dry, probably in the next 10 minutes, her hair will shrink completely back up and be back to its normal shrinkage. It just takes a little bit longer, okay? So don't be alarmed by that. It is a factor. Now with some blondes, especially high lift ones, you'll notice over time where you start to lose curl definition and the curls don't spring back up, that is cause for alarm, okay? So we need to stop coloring immediately and start with a series of treatments like Olaplex or something to strengthen that disulfide bond and to address the elasticity of the hair, okay? So treat the hair at every step. Take notice of what's going on with your client's hair. We take an assessment every time she comes in to get color and in between during her maintenance appointments. Her hair is in optimal health. It does need a really, really good trim, but overall it's in optimal health. It's doing fine. We've noticed no breakage, no excessive shedding, and her curls do pop right back. She can still wear wash and go if she chooses, but for the most part, she usually wears stretch styles like flexi rods and twist styles like I previously stated, okay? So just take that into consideration. Inform your guests. Guests usually don't have an issue with pretty much anything unless it's not discussed, okay? That's where the consultation comes into play. Communication is so key. If it can happen, I let my guests know. Just like when you go to the doctor's office before you get any kind of surgery, they let you know all the risk involved. And because hair is not an exact science, there are risks, okay? So make sure you explain that to your guests. When they're informed, they can make an informed decision, all right? And you can partner together to determine the best regimen that's gonna work for the long-term care of your client's hair, okay? And also remember, hair is a fiber. I preach this like it's Bible, okay? Hair is not living. It's not living tissue. It is a fiber. We can manipulate this fiber to do what we want it to do or not, okay? So take that in consideration in your consultation. Explain how hair works with your guests so they know what's possible and what's just not gonna happen, okay? Very important. Back at the blow dry stage, you guys know how I do. If you're looking for more information about my blow dries, I am going to cover the SilkPress service in my masterclass, the Texture Bootcamp, on the 20th and the 21st. It'll be hands-on, so you will get to do SilkPress and get your techniques kind of coached and perfected during that class. But if you can't do that, check out one of my previous videos on the SilkPress. I go through all my do's, don'ts, my ifs, my whatevers. I go through all of it there, okay? I'll put some of those links in the video up top so you can click on those as well. All right, but I'm just going through, stretching the hair out, blow drying. The color looks amazing, and as you can see, it's shifting already. So from the time we got to the bowl with that first rinse out, to the toner, now to the blow dry, again, the color shifts at every step. Some of it's still oxidizing, the toner's taking effect, the heat is interacting with the toner, all of that good stuff is going on. It's one big pot. It's like cooking gumbo. Every step matters, okay? From the roux to the last piece of shrimp you add, okay? It all matters. So take that in consideration in your formulation. I formulate for the end result, not for the moment, okay? Formulate for the end result, not for the moment. That's powerful. I need to write that down. Take your time, blow dry the hair. My dry is on a high airflow with a medium heat setting. Again, I don't want to blast out all of my beautiful toner. So you see a little bit more texture left behind, but my iron will take care of that. I'm being very careful not to apply too much heat. As you can see, no smoke, no vapors, nothing like that. I did apply a leave-in conditioner as well as a heat protectant. I'll put the link to those in the description box so you can purchase them as well. All right, but always be thorough in your application of heat protectant and your leave-ins, and make sure the hair is protected from this heat step. Even if you're doing flexi rods or putting them under the dryer, heat protection is always necessary. It's not just keeping the hair from frying, it's helping to maintain that moisture balance inside the hair shelf, okay? Once I'm done blow drying, I do go back and add just a teeny more of my heat protectant to make sure I got an extra added layer of protection. Work that through. You can brush it through if you'd like. And then I'm going to start my press out, okay? My iron of choice today is my H2 Pro Onyx Diamond Titanium Flat Iron. Yes, I'm using titanium. I know I always say I prefer ceramic. I do. This just happened to be the iron that was on my station, so that's what I picked up, okay? It is set to 415 degrees. Each section may get 2 to 3 bumps at the root and then 1 pass down the shaft. Again, if you need more info on my SilkPress process, please check out my previous videos. I go in great detail talking about heat damage, curl elongation, what temperature to use, texture, all that good stuff. All right, I'm going to fast forward just a bit through this because she has a lot of hair and I still want to get to the glorious trim. All right, so I'll be back when I start trimming to explain what I'm doing. So as you can see, she needs a really good trim. It's been a few months. She's been away doing mostly stretch and protective styles. So we definitely need to get these ends together. I am very frugal with trims. I trim what is necessary and I always show my guests, okay? If they don't want 2 inches cut off, I don't care if the ends are tore up to the scalp. I'm not doing it because that's not what she asked for, okay? I'm always gonna do what my guests want. I will definitely give them my diagnosis and what I think is best, but ultimately they have to be comfortable. And 9 times out of 10, once they sit in my chair a couple times, they're usually good. They know I'm not trying to cut the hair off. I get no joy whatsoever out of just cutting hair. I know some people say hairstylists are scissor happy. I'm not one of those. It doesn't give me a thrill to cut off somebody's hair, especially when they're not going to be satisfied. All right, I'm going to cut what the client wants. All right, so we're getting her ends together, dusting that last little bit off that's either frayed. Some of it's just time for it to go. It's been a few months. All right, the pandemic has been rough on my clients' ends because most of them don't come into the salon as often. They're either working from home so they're not out as much, or they're experimenting at home doing protective styles or braid outs and stuff like that. And manipulation alone over time can just cause wear and tear on the ends of the hair. Also, when your hair is color treated, you will need trims more often. All right, so you cannot go get your hair lifted, go blonde and get that color you want, and then we not see you for a year and you think this is all going to work out and be good. Not gonna happen. You have to get it trimmed more often. It needs to be conditioned more often. It is color treated. Again, hair is a fiber. It is not living tissue. So I know the thought is, well, I'm gonna put it in protective style to give it a break. That's not really how it works. If the hair is trash going into the protective style, it's gonna be hot trash coming out. Probably worse, okay, because it's dry. It is a fiber, all right? So we have to treat it and maintain it as we see it, okay? Just like carpet, just like anything else, if you don't take care of it in the current state, leaving it alone, it's not gonna repair itself, okay? It does not have the ability. I know we're putting avocados and all kind of creams and fruit and stuff on it. Guys, I'm here to tell you, it's not working. And I know y'all gonna fight me back in the comments, and somebody might even make another video, trying to debunk it. That's great. I'm telling you what science says. It's not gonna work. Hair does not have the ability to metabolize or take in the nutrients per se that it may get from a fruit like your body can, all right? Your body has a stomach. It's gonna break that down, absorb the nutrients. Your hair does not. It is a fiber, all right? Once it leaves the scalp, it does not have the ability to repair itself. I'm not saying that your fruits aren't doing anything, but they're not doing more than what a conditioner can do, okay? So you can see we're back to square one. Her ends look great. The color is giving me everything I needed to give. I could not have wanted to come out better. The placement is A1. The tone is A1. You can see it's developed so much since the shampoo bowl, okay? It's perfect. All right, so I'm going through, adding some waves. I'm using my large 2-inch flat iron here. I think it's by FHI. If I can find a link, I'll definitely put it in the description box. It's one of my go-to irons to curl and wave. I just like the shape of it. It's larger, so the curls are not as tight. Gives the hair a lot more flexibility and movement, all right? I did spray a hairspray over top of her hair before I started ironing. It doubles as a heat protectant and a curl spray. It's called Spray Gel, and I believe it's by AG Moist. One of my favorites. I abuse it, but it's great. It leaves the hair with a brilliant shine. It's not weighted down, and it doesn't affect the overall finish in terms of making the hair tacky or anything like that. Once it's curled, the hair just remains shiny, all right? Super bouncy, super soft, super easy to work with. All right, my iron right now is set to 390 degrees. I usually turn it down when it's time to curl, unless I'm working with extensions. Usually I find I have to go higher, but when I'm working with natural hair, I usually turn the iron that I'm using to curl down a few degrees because, again, it's already straight. All right, take your time. I work in neat sections. Again, if you're looking for curl techniques, oh my God, how do you curl with a flat iron? You need to be in the Texture Bootcamp on March 20th and 21st, all right? I'm leaving nothing on the table. Come out to Chicago. We'll be a little bit warmer by then. Book your hotel and come have fun with us. It's gonna be a good 2 days. We're gonna laugh, we're gonna learn, and I promise you're gonna leave a better stylist with more information and knowledge, and your prices are going up. That's the whole goal. The price is gonna change, okay? All right, working my way through this, taking my time. This is usually one of my favorite parts of the service, only because I get to see the whole picture come together. People ask, Trav, do you prefer the color? Do you prefer the style? Are you a cutter? I like it all because I just like the end result. whatever's gonna get me to the end result, I'm gonna enjoy every step. So from painting the hair to detangling to blow drying, I love it all. All right, this color, whew, it just did what it's supposed to do, and she loves it every time. I love when a client loves their hair. Every time she gets it done, she's in the mirror, she can't believe it. Even if we're just touching it up, she's like, I can't believe this is my hair. Like, it looks so good, and that brings me joy. I love it when my clients are happy, y'all. I don't care if it's just bone straight. I don't care if they're getting a regular SilkPress, if they're getting, you know, going platinum blonde, whatever the case. I love when my guests are happy. It makes my day. When they smile, they start taking pictures and dancing in the chair, I'm happy, no matter how tired I am. And usually my last guests get my best work, because they're usually gonna be the happiest. They got in, they got to get their hair done, they going out, it's fabulous, I love it, all right? So I'm working on my last few curls here, and I am done. I always let my guests get their little selfies and stuff before I start combing things out. Let them go on Instagram, Snapchat, get their filters going, and here we are for the comb out. Whew. Yeah, I'm smiling as I'm watching this. I really am. You can probably hear it in my voice. But that's it, y'all. This is a total color makeover. She got her roots touched up, ends trimmed. It looks phenomenal. And I'll probably see her again in like another 6 months for a color retouch. If that, sometimes she goes longer. But like and subscribe, share the video. Make sure you are registered for the Texture Bootcamp on March 20th to 21st. It is not online. It is live and in person here in Chicago, all right? If you have questions, shoot me an email or drop a comment in the comment field. See y'all later.